Procrastination is going to be the assassination of your success. And here's the thing. We're all, like, no one is immune to procrastination. There's been plenty of times in my life where I've done it. I'll give you some examples soon. But procrastination, I want you to think about it in a different way than what most of you have been taught. First of all, do you know what mind valley is? Well, they actually did a study and they asked people, what do you want? And one of the most common things that people wanted was they wanted to learn how to be more accountable and how not to procrastinate. They wanted to get more done, okay? So let's talk about how you can stop procrastinating. And first of all, I want you to think about procrastination as this, as you kind of hitting the snooze button on your life, okay? Snooze, I'll do that tomorrow. Snooze, I'm not gonna get up yet. Snooze, I'll start that, diet later. You're snoozing your life away. That's what procrastination is. It's like hitting the snooze button over and over again and never ever really starting. And here's the thing about procrastination is that when you procrastinate, you actually get less done. Your research shows that the more you think about something or you're worried about something, the less energy you have, and you actually get less done because you're actually thinking about in the back of your mind that thing that you want to get done. So it's not only just procrastinating, it's actually keeping you from having the results and the success that you want. So I'll tell you something. Like, I remember when I wanted to become a coach, right? Like, every sign in the world was pointing at me to become a coach. I kept hearing, Krista, you're so motivating, you're so inspiring, you're so encouraging. And I remember I was reading this book from Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich, which, by the way, all of you should read that book. It's one of the books that I've read with my teens lifting lives, and they loved it. But he talks about in this book how, people get this calling. And when they get this calling, successful people take the calling, but most people never do. They procrastinate when that calling comes because they're afraid of what, of success and change. So I procrastinated for about 3 or 4 years when I wanted to become a coach. And I was afraid. I was like, I had this really great job, which was stressing me out, right? Yes, I was making a lot of money. I was helping people, which I loved, but I was exhausted and I was tired. And so I wanted to change and, kind of go back to my roots as a teacher because I miss teaching and helping people, but I was afraid. And so I procrastinated. So I basically let myself wait and stop. I procrastinated because, even though I was miserable, I was also comfortable. I was comfortable making the kind of money I was comfortable being that top producer. I was comfortable. Life was easy. Business was coming my way. So I procrastinated and leaving. And it took me about 3 years. And here's the deal. If I just would have started sooner, I would have been so much further along with my success. And I look back now and I go, gosh, why did you keep waiting? Why did you keep hitting the snooze button? Well, there's a saying that I love to say. It's called do it now, do it now, do it now. In fact, I'll show you a screenshot in my office so you can see what I have right on my office wall. So you can see that I mean this when I say do it now. In fact, I believe in do it now so much. As you can see, I've got my cups that actually remind me to do it now, right? In fact, W. Clement Stone, remember, he was a multi-millionaire, if not a billionaire, back in the 1900s. One of his core principles was doing it now. He actually was the one who kind of made up Napoleon Hill, right? He found Napoleon Hill and he gave him this challenge to put his whole entire life's work towards finding successful traits of people. And what he found about these traits is that nobody is born with these traits, but they actually acquire them. They can learn them. One of the traits is being decisive in nature, doing it now, taking immediate action. So what does this mean? That means that we're not born procrastinating, but we're also not born not to procrastinate, right? Or we learn to procrastinate. So that means that we can unlearn it. So how do we unlearn procrastinating? One of them is one of the military's main core things that they teach, and that is being disciplined, right? Being disciplined. And discipline can be really hard because we start to incorporate these habits in our life. And so being disciplined is something that, again, you have to learn to do. And again, I'm just going to relate it back to my own self. Like, I was very undisciplined when it came to my eating. I let myself get into a point where I would just eat whatever I wanted. And it felt good to be able to do that, right? So I thought that I liked the fact that I was able to just eat like so embarrassingly too much food because it tasted good. But really, it made me sick and full and feel horrible. And I had to change, number one, the way I think about eating food, and I had to change how disciplined I was. And once I learned to just become more disciplined, and I made the choice to stop doing this very self-destructive behavior that, quite frankly, was keeping me from getting on the other side of everything. When I learned to be disciplined, okay, and I learned to do it now, that's when I was able to make the change. And I'll tell you, that's exactly what I did. I literally From one day to the next, my daughter came over to my house and she said, crying and hysterical and more upset than I've ever seen her, begging me to stop this behavior. She was so afraid that I wasn't going to be around. I literally that day decided to change. It was like, and it was almost like the craziest thing came over me, this obsession with food, this horrible eating disorder, this disease, so to speak. It was like within a day, I was able to almost just like make it like it was never there, right? But it was because, number one, I did it now. It was like I said to myself that day, this is it, never again. Like I was super decisive in nature. I cut the line in the sand. I said no more. I really did a lot of self-evaluation to see like, how is this thing hurting me? How can I stop this thing? Number one, it was all about how I was talking, right? And how are you talking to yourself about the things that are holding you back? Procrastination, remember, delay is the number one enemy of wealth. Wealth, not just in money, but wealth in your health, your happiness, your relationships, whatever that thing is that you're trying to change. So we need to learn to recognize when we're delaying, recognize when we're procrastinating, recognize when we're hitting that snooze button, and we just have to stop. Okay. Now, one thing I haven't talked to you guys yet about stop, snap, and switch is that you can use stop, snap, and switch for anything. I like to use it first for the main reason why I came up with it was to actually control your thoughts and realize what you're thinking about, right? But you can also do it for anything else. Just say like, there's something that you have to get done. Okay. And like you're procrastinating and we'd be like, I got to do that thing. Like stop, turn it over, snap it, right? Turn it over and just do it. Like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it now. Just get up and do it now. You can use this technique for pretty much anything. And now the body and the brain and your thoughts and your actions are all going to be aligned. And you're going to learn to use stop, snap, and switch to change just about anything that you're trying to change. So just remember this. When you procrastinate, when you delay, you are lowering your energy, you're lowering your productivity, obviously, because you're not doing the thing, but also you're training yourself to count on yourself less. The biggest lie that we can tell is the lie that we tell ourselves. Every time you procrastinate, every time you say you're going to do something and you don't, you are lying to yourself. And that hurts you more than any other lie that you can tell. Also, when you do this, you are training the amygdala, the bad wolf, to continue to let these behaviors take you over, right? You are letting these behaviors of negativity continue to control your life. So do it now. Stop, snap, and switch, and do it right away the second you think about something. And what you're going to realize is how much more energy you have, how much more excitement you have, and more importantly, how much more you want to do. Another thing that you can do when you are procrastinating is think about the thing you hate to do, okay? Many of us hate to do videos. One of the things that I know I have to do in my business is I have to do videos, right? And I actually learned to like them because I'm talking about something that I enjoy. But there's been times where I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to do videos. Like, I don't want to do them. I'm tired. I'm exhausted. And the more I thought about it, it would just get to the point where I just wouldn't do them. And I knew that that one thing was going to be the biggest mover in my business, right? I need to get content out there. I need to serve. I need to get my name out there. I need to get more exposure, more attention. But if I didn't do it right away, I wouldn't do it. So there's a cure to that. Do it now. Do it first thing in the morning, right? I know that if I do something I don't want to do, and research shows this, that the more that you do something you don't like quickly and early on, two things happen. Number one is your brain goes, that wasn't so hard. That was much easier than I thought. Let's do more. You actually want to do more. And number two, you have more energy because in the back of your mind, when you procrastinate, you're thinking about that thing. And while you're thinking about that thing, you can't put as much attention and focus onto the things that you're doing. And just watch how much more success, more energy, more happiness, and just watch how that thing you're trying to change starts to happen so much more quickly, okay? So that is that. So thank you so much for watching. I hope this is helpful. Like and subscribe if you think so helps somebody else. Go ahead and share it. And remember, nothing happens by just watching stuff. You actually have to do stuff. So do me a favor in the comments. Tell me, how are you using stop, step, and switch? What are you doing to do it now? How is it changing your life? And I will see you on the next time. Thanks so much for watching my video. You can learn more about how to be a successful real estate professional by watching other videos that I have. And be sure to subscribe to my channel. And as always, make it a great home selling and buying day.